put it into whatever case it was in, and I would worry about it like dinging other models, or it was just really heavy. You know, if you back in the day when like everything bigger than infantry was metal,
yeah,
you'd be like, oh my gosh, my army actually weighs like 30 pounds.
You good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's working?
Do you remember the thing about the Tomb of Ectoclades?
I mean,
probably not.
Which
have
one?
a Tomb of Ectoclades.
Which one's that?
So I have a one-use relic.
I'm sure chat will let us know when the commentators are.
No.
Okay.
I pick one data sheet in your army, and everyone within 6 inches of him.
The problem right now is the video isn't being shared, so I can't see what's going on.
Okay.
And the librarian has that relic.
Okay. When do you decide it?
I'm just watching it on Twitch.
On your turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I realize there's a touch of a delay, but
yeah, it's really good.
I'm using someone else's laptop, so I hadn't tried to like
reroll wounds.
swap things out.
I think they're probably
there we go.
Only, one of the only marine builds that the bolter variant is actually viable compared to.
So we're all good now.
Commentator's good. Excellent.
Sweet.
Only really if you want to take 24.
Excellent. So I don't know where it cut off before, but I'm just going to do the intro again. This is the kickoff. We had a few preview games, but this is the kickoff to Charity Hammer Out Cancer, and we have Colin Sherman playing Noah Badome, and I am Mitch Pelham of the Best in Faction podcast, and with me is Alex McDougall.
That is correct. And I'll pitch some Art of War. I am with Art of War as a coach.
AP1 or AP2?
There you go. It's not like they are like we aren't lousy with Art of War people throughout the commentary.
I mean, how many?
That's true. We got Nick, John, and Ziegler. Pretty much got half the crew.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got a healthy reserve. But anyway, so we are looking at Colin's Tyranids, which Alex is going to be the expert on, versus Noah's Deathwatch, which I wouldn't say I'm an expert on yet, but I got a chance to talk to Noah beforehand and get a good feel for like what the thought process was behind this army. So, do you want to jump into some list analysis now, Alex, while they're still setting up?
Yeah, sure. I'll start breaking down the Tyranid side of things. So the Tyranid list is something that me and John Lennon and Colin have been working on for a bit, and it's been refined a couple times. The big difference here is the big boost that Tyranids got from Forge World, which is, we're using in this one specifically the Demicarans, which are just lightning quick. Their rule is that they ignore... they essentially have fly. It's almost the best way to put it.
They have better fly.
Yeah, they ignore terrain, they ignore models. So if you leave even the tiniest of holes in your lines, those Demicarans are hitting you like anywhere, like in weird little gaps and sniping characters, and their actual damage output is remarkable. Reroll all hits in combat. For 1 CP, you can reroll all wounds, and they have 6 attacks at 3 plus D3 damage.
9 inches from an enemy unit. Okay, I can do
they
that
are not messing around.
So they have the better. They have a pseudo Melta combat.
Yeah, they hit
what you're saying.
Very hard. This functions very similar to the old Kraken list with Gene Stealers. So we are in Kraken, which means that those Demicarans can fall back and charge, and they get 3d6 advance, take the highest dice, and you can double that with Opportunistic Advance Stratagem, and you can move them twice with Swarmlord.
So I'm going to ask the first question that comes to my mind as a player who'd be facing this list is, when they fall back, are they allowed to move over models and ignore terrain?
Oh, yes, they are.
Oh, delicious. So good. Yeah. So good. I just wanted to double check because that would be a Achilles heel, as it were. So, yeah. But please go on for what the Tyranids list is doing.
Yeah, so it's 5 monsters at this point. It's the 2 Demicarans and the Swarmlord, which is really the core of the army. That is going to dictate the pace of the game. That's going to let you deal your damage, most of your damage. And then it's got a Hive Tyrant as sort of an all-rounder, nice durable anchor that can support everything. And then it's got the Exocrine, which is just marine sniping magic. And then Hive Guard as well. So there's about as much power as a Tyranid list can put out. And then the rest of the army is just board control and getting to objectives. It is, I think, 26 Hormagaunts, 2 more 10 packs of Hormagaunts, 30 of the new Devil Gaunts, which is the Devour Termagaunts, because the Devours were reduced in points. So this is a hard-hitting, fast, and good board control army.
Sounds like it.
Is built to snipe Marines.
I am a cheater, but that is a 6.
So on the other side of that, we've got Noah Badom's Deathwatch, and like I was saying before, we had audio issues. I was able to sit down with Noah and talk a little bit about this list. The basic idea, first of all, is plasma inceptors are good. Who knew? I mean, Noah really keyed into something there that none of us saw coming. I'm kidding, of course, but because they're Deathwatch, there's a whole bunch of different ways to take them. So you're not necessarily limited by the rule of 3. You can incorporate them into other squads of kill teams. There's a lot more flexibility there. So what Noah's really working with here is an idea of a list that has multiple units that are going to be re-rolling all of their wounds against different profiles of target. So, for example, I believe he's got one squad that will reroll wounds against elites, and one squad that will reroll wounds against heavy, the heavy support slot, and then we've got the ability to have 2 units fall back and shoot still. He's also got the ability to throw any chapter tactic, whether it's a successor or otherwise, onto any one squad at any time, which can create some really crazy combos that are very situational. What I really gathered from Noah as he explained his list is this is a toolbox list, but it's not a toolbox list necessarily in the same way as you're going to take a bunch of different units and they can all kind of do different tricks. He's taking a lot of similar units, and there are obviously some differences throughout, but the big difference for this list is all the toolboxiness in general comes from the stratagems, the warlord traits, the relics. It's very much that side of thing. He's got a captain with his normal aura, a reroll to wound aura of sorts, and 2 other warlord traits. So there's a total of 4 auras going on with one single captain. He's got a librarian with the Tomb of Eclades, which I believe allows you to nominate 1 data sheet, and that data sheet, everyone within 6 inches rerolls to wound against that particular data sheet, if memory is serving correctly. So there's just a lot of jank and a lot of toolboxiness and a huge amount of firepower. Everything's Primaris. Everything can be buffed up for either a 5-up Feel No Pain, or have models come back from the Apothecary, or have a 5-up Invulnerable save against shooting. The list goes on and on. There's a lot of you've got transhuman physiology. There's just a lot of choices to make with this list. So while it's a very durable and versatile list, it really comes down to the pilot, and it puts all that pressure on the pilot of the list, making the correct choices and making the correct analysis for what they need to use of their CP pool to handle the current situation. So it's going to be really cool to see how this list gets applied to such a aggressive damage dealing list that with a player who's experienced with this exact playstyle in Colin.
Yeah, it sounds like the Deathwatch portion of it is really taking that high volume that Inceptor's put out, and then really cranking up the value of that high volume. Like if with all those rerolls, you take that many shots and start adding that much kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just insurance to all those shots, like with all the reroll wounds.
Reliability, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, really that reliability on
consistency.
All that volume.
Yeah,
consistency. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we can see Noah here moving forward pretty aggressively, just maximizing that movement that he's getting with fly.
That's a big advance roll.
Yeah.
That's 6 there. That's going to let him push way out. Okay, I will be right back. I need to quickly help my wife with something, and then I'll be right back.
Sorry, guys. Alex has got to be an adult. You'll just be stuck with me for a while. Sure. Yep. So the thing is the intercessors aren't even the most damage dealing unit he has. The intercessors with the stalker bolt rifles can be buffed up to 3 damage and shoot twice. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, interesting. You guys aren't. I'm having a conversation with Chuck, my co-host. Sorry. Don't worry. It's just a very minor psychic or psyche break here for me. I'm just talking to myself. It's all good, guys. No, we're experiencing some technical issues with Chuck, who is actually handling the running of the stream, being able to jump in and provide commentary. Fair enough. Let us not. So now, I don't have the intercessors in front of me right now. Are their weapons blast? So so with his weapons being blast, Colin's normal go-to is going to be to try and wrap and try and keep them stuck in combat where they can't necessarily shoot and be effective. The problem is that all of these guys have fly, and 2 of them via stratagems and shenanigans can be made to fall back and still be able to shoot. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so Colin needs to be wrapping 3 units to be able to have any hope of actually like holding 1 unit in place, and even then it can still fall back because it has fly. It's just not going to be able to shoot. Yeah. Yeah, that like for any effectiveness for wrapping to happen, he needs to cross over that 3 unit threshold. So that's a really big difference in how Colin's going to have to play Tyranids and conceptually think about what he does. Because normally with Kraken Tyranids, throwing a unit forward and wrapping something up so you have control over it and you hold it in place is just a gimme. It's not a hard thing to accomplish. In against this list, it may not even be possible. Inceptors, yes. He has intercessors. Those guys can put out more damage, but the intercessors are going to be what he's pushing forward. So that if Colin really wants to wrap anything, that's where he's going to have to deal with it. The other part of this is Noah has the ability again to make any chapter tactic work on one of his units. So if Colin tries to wrap up a unit but doesn't necessarily commit to it enough, that unit could get wiped out just from him buffing the combat enough so that it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna having talked to Noah and understanding the breakdown of his list, I don't. I basically think that if he can kill the big Tyranid monsters, the scary stuff, by turn 2, yeah, the Dimacarons and the Swarmlord, if he's killing them by turn 2, it's going to be really, really difficult for Colin to come back from that. It's possible, but like the amount of firepower there, like Colin needs to remove some models to because if he doesn't, the sustained firepower of this list will grind him down into 3 turns max. Period. It doesn't really matter what he does for him to be on objectives and actually accomplishing what he wants to accomplish. He needs to be reducing the count of models that Noah has to work with regularly. I think that it would be. I'm going to bet on all of the Inceptors just for the amount of damage they put out because they're again you can't really tie them up. There's so many different avenues of reroll wounds and reroll hits for the Deathwatch. I mean, It's a shocker. Mr. Imperium's going with Imperium. I know. I think that it's going to be a blowout one way or another, no matter what. But I could be wrong. So I'm going to put a score on it, including paint scores. I'm going to say 85-71. Well, that's me hedging my bets. I think that it'll probably be a blowout, but if it's a close game, it'll be right around that. So my concern is that the Diamond Karens are going to go in, kill a squad of intercessors each, and then evaporate. Yeah, for sure. I believe it's AP2. Yeah. With re-rolling wounds, it makes a big difference. This is the Noah's list completely rests on his shoulders and his decision making. It's the kind of list that can seem really scary on paper, but if you execute incorrectly, it can crumble. But if you play it correct, but if you do play it according to your plan, you execute, can be devastating.
I have returned. Hello.
Yeah. So Alex, Chuck was asking me. Well, the chat was asking Chuck and I what we thought our spread was on who would win. I went 84-71 in the favor of the Intercessors and Deathwatch in general.
Oh, there's these lists put against each other. I think we might be surprised by how good the Demicarens are, especially into these 3-win models. They have a ton of power, and these models don't have invulnerable saves, which is the Demicaren dream.
So my concern is that they're going to go up, kill a squad each, and then evaporate.
Oh, that's fine. They're trading up.
For a 5-man squad?
Yep, the Demicarens are less than a 5-man squad.
Okay.
The key thing, I believe, anyway, is that the Demicarens are going to make sure that the Hive Guard and the Exocrine can continue to do damage, and that they won't have to trade. If the Demicarens can make sure that the rest of the army can do what it needs to do, I think the Tyranids win this more often than not. It is still Marines versus Tyranids, though, so got to keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also the mighty power of Overrun. Overrun is quite good. Oh, sounds like Chuck is not coming through. Chuck, if you can hear me, chat can't hear you. Okay, well maybe I just can't hear Mitch then, if Mitch is here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, perfect. Just didn't know.
Yeah, I'm just watching everything right now.
Gotcha.
Letting the players kind of just get set up for, like, this is going to be the big.
This is a big turn already.
Yeah, this is the honestly, I would say this turn really is the game, like in the sense of what happens right now. If for some reason Colin were to whiff or have some exceptionally bad dice rolls, it could really spell disaster.
Yeah. It's 6. If he's talking about Hive Commander, it's a 6-inch range. Yeah, Noah was very aggressive, which forced the issue. I think this is going to happen like right now. That is a silly amount of Inceptors. Yeah, yeah. I was going to type that. I don't know why I didn't finish it. But yes, Chuck is just in the room with us, not actually commentating. So don't worry about not being able to hear Chuck. I think an interesting back and forth here is that if both the Demacarons can charge, then it's baiting out transhuman on the Demacaron that will not be using reroll wounds of the Voracious Appetite stratagem.
I think transhuman physiology might be the most important stratagem in this game.
Yes, very much so. Yes, for people asking, the Moloch is a Demacaron proxy because Demacarons are very hard to find right now.
I don't know why.
Yeah. It's almost like they produced a really good rule set and then didn't have any of the stock to back it up.
That doesn't sound like GW.
No,
What are you talking about?
honestly, it doesn't sound like GW. They want to make money.
Well, I mean, you could have fooled me sometimes. So right now, the Hive Guard. If Colin had been privy to the conversation I'd had with Noah, I would be going into the Stalker Bolt Rifle Intercessor. They have the ability to really pick up anything he has on the board really quickly. And what I'm kind of looking at right now is he's exposed his monster down in the lower left hand corner for a line of sight. Those the intercessors could step forward and be well within their 36-inch Stalker Bolt Rifle range, and bump up to 3 damage and reroll wounds and just wipe out that monster. I'm forgetting the name right now. I'm sorry. I'm not a Tyranid player.
Stormlord.
No, not Swarmlord. No. I'm talking about the larger base.
Oh, the Exocrine on the left-hand side.
Exocrine. He's exposed the Exocrine. So the Stalker Bolt Rifle 10-man intercessor squad up by Noah's arm can step out and forward and have a 36-inch range and just pop that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Exocrine should go for those Stalker Bolt Rifles then.
Yeah, I agree. No, that's what I'm saying. I think that I would do my Hive Guard and my Exocrine into the Stalker Bolt Rifles. They're long range, damage 3, firepower projection that can get reroll wounds. That's a problem for Colin if he wants to feel safe in his side of the board.
Yeah. The Hive Guard might not go for them, depending on how well the Exocrine does. But the Hive Guard could probably go for the second wave of Inceptors. Like if the Demacarons can kill the two that are close, then the Hive Guard can go for the second wave of Inceptors and try and keep those Demacarons safe.
It looks like Colin's setting up a pretty intense bowl into the middle with that Demacaron, the lower one, the red and brown one. I feel like, does it look like to you, Alex, that he's going to go up the middle with that?
The red Demacaron?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell distances with a top-down deal like this.
Yep.
But you could go either straight down the middle, or okay. Yes, onslaught failing is disastrous. That's why we have the Resonance Barb on the Broodlord. Or sorry, the Hive Tyrant. It was the Broodlord in a past rendition of this list, and the Broodlord has been swapped out for the Hive Tyrant and dropping off.
Can we get a update on what is Colin shooting at with the Hive Guard?
Yeah, let's just mute us for a second and go to the players.
Okay. I'm going to spend 2 CP to transhuman this squad.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
I'm going to re-roll ones. I should do this where they can see it, because that's off the table where they cannot see it. Take that 2 out of there, re-roll some ones. Okay. And then I got 1, 6, 2, 6. I need one more die. Here's 3, 6.
Okay.
And then this is wounding on 4s because you transhumaned. I actually should have split my fire. I forgot about transhuman. That's okay. So this is 7.
Ooh.
AP 2, ignore cover. So 5 up invulns.
Yeah. 7?
Yeah.
I'll make 3. I'll
Okay.
lose 4 guys.
First guy.
Oh,
They're
it's D3 damage. I thought it flat
Dead.
too. Second guy?
Dead. Dead. Dead.
Hey, I was right.
I killed 4 guys. Good job, me. The Exocrine will shoot. This is the unit that has the 5 up Feel No Pain?
It is.
Is this guy right here?
Yeah.
That guy's in a separate unit
Yeah.
that does not have 5 up Feel No Pain?
Yes.
Let's shoot him then.
Okay.
We're seeing Colin correctly choose the
I'm just going to
Stalker
both
Bolt
rounds of
Rifle
the-
Intercessors
Oh, I can't-
as his target there.
Okay.
And it looks like he took out 4 of them.
All right, 6
Yeah, that's a good start.
It's a really good start, especially since he popped his transhuman on that already.
Yeah, he can end for 2 CP as well. Okay.
So
Yeah.
what I was
getting those
saying before,
go for it.
the 4 Stalker Bolt Rifle Intercessors were correctly targeted by Colin with his Hive Guard. That is what he needs to be reducing the firepower of, because Noah pushed out so far with his plasma. Man, I'm forgetting the name. They all sound the same. I swear.
IN something.
Yeah. But because he pushed out with his jump plasma infantry. That is the correct move, because what's going to happen in Noah's next turn is if he doesn't take out that squad enough to reduce their damage, they will pop out and kill a monster a turn, and that's a huge deal for Colin. He can't have that happen. He needs the frontline units to be the focus. If Noah gets a chance to target backline units and kill frontline units, it's a really bad trade-off for Colin.
Yeah, this army, for the Tyranid side of things, is definitely an army that can run out of steam pretty quickly. There's kind of the certain linchpin units that are very important, and if those can go down, then the army starts to kind of fall apart. Like the Gaunts are excellent for board control and taking objectives, but they can't be the ones drawing fire.
Yeah, there's this is very much a look at what one hand is doing while the other hand gets stuff done sort of list.
Yeah, you win with the Gaunts because of the points they get, not because they did anything.
But the value proposition for the opponent is, if I don't kill these big scary things running down my throat and shoot at the Gaunts, I lose because you just get to kill everything anyway. So that's where you're forcing an opponent to make a decision.
Yeah, and to the chat, the question about switching targets has basically been answered. The Hive Guard are an infantry unit, and there is a stratagem in Tyranids that allows you to shoot the Hive Guard twice, so he can change the target that he shoots at. So Transhuman goes on the 1 unit, defends it, and now that it's defended and he's spent his 2 command points, when the Tyranid player chooses to use the stratagem, he just targets something else. If Colin was really thinking ahead, he could have split that in the first place.
Yeah.
Had him spend Transhuman for only like 6 Hive Guard shots instead of 12.
Yep.
Really made that 2 CP feel bad, but you gotta pop him. Like you can't sit there and
he
not
got
use
4.
Transhuman.
He got 4 down, which is an excellent result. So I can't really criticize with what he did there.
No, not at all. Is that close to math? It should be 12 hits with Symbio Storm on them. And then,
Transhuman though.
Yeah, so 12 hits, and then it should have been 6 wounds, and he got 7. And then Noah failed 3.
4.
Sorry, 4. Yeah, so that was definitely higher than statistics. So
Yeah.
Colin got hooked up a little bit there. Not by a ton.
No,
I would have
it
expected
worked out, and again, the more important thing I think for Colin is good target priority.
Yes.
So like if he had ignored those, that could have been a serious issue down the line.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if I'm being entirely honest here, I would say that Noah has been a little bit overconfident with how tough this army is. I think Colin's going to get a lot of damage here, and I think Noah might be a little surprised by this. You can start to separate the army, though, that they can be dealt with sort of one at a time. Like the Demacarian goes way forward. You hold back a bit, it goes very deep, and then you're able to use some of your army to kill the Demacarian and some to push forward. And the Demacarian is left so far, or so the rest of the army is left so far behind. Yes. Yeah.
I in this case, I feel like the right play might have been to kind of try and not deploy so far forward and split things a little bit so that it would force Colin a choice. I can throw both my Dimacaren unsupported into either flank or up the middle for both of them. But no matter what, like I'm probably not going to have the full fire support of my Hive Guard and everything else unless I move them forward and expose them. That would have at least set Noah up for a counterplay of okay, cool, you took out some stuff, but now your Hive Guard are a little bit more exposed. I'm going to take them out. He needs to set himself up not for an equitable exchange on the turn he's on, because due to how fast Dimacarans and Kraken in general are, you have to be thinking about the next turn. I want to let you do what you want to do because I can't stop it, but I want to set myself up for a positive interaction in the next round.
Yeah. The other thing that could have happened is potentially Noah still plays aggressively, but instead of coming the way we're looking at the screen right now, because the screen will be the same for you guys watching, is instead of going kind of left to the combat where the one Demacaren is on the left-hand side, he could have pushed everything down to the bottom.
That's what
and probably stayed outside of Hive Guard range. Like that army is fast. They're all Inceptors, basically. So you can just shift that whole army away from the shooting elements and kind of try and deal with one element at a time.
Yeah, I feel like Noah kind of went for the middle here, and when you're dealing with Kraken Gene Stealers, in my experience, that if you're in the middle, you're where they want you to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that sounds
only
about right.
got 20 left.
The smart thing that Colin has done here, this is a nice little note for the audience, is the Demacarans have a special ability where after they've attacked, they force an opponent infantry in engagement range to take a strength test. And if that strength test has failed, they dish out a super smite. If they kill with that super smite, they get feel no pain for the rest of the game. So what Colin has done here is he's tagged 2 units. So he will try and kill the one, and when it dies, remember it's in engagement range. So if he attacked both units, he could just pull out of engagement range and that final little off. Having 2 units, he can kill the one, and then the special ability will occur into the next unit.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Like what we're seeing right now is Colin setting himself up for a very, very durable Demacaran.
Yeah. Yeah, the one Demacaran's probably in trouble, but that's life. He might just overrun away, though. I think it looks like what is.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's going to try and hide behind that L after the fact.
Yep. There you go.
Well, I guess I didn't fail my roll for prescience.
Excellent. I was unaware of what was in Deep Strike, so that's good to know.
Yeah, he has to do that, otherwise the next Inceptor squad just drops down and nukes the Hive Guard. Yeah, and they would have dropped down and dumped into the Hive Guard and done real damage, but now that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and that's not a trade either. That's just the Plasma Inceptors arriving and getting value. And now Colin's got to do a weird break and push that something way back into that corner to deal with them. Otherwise, they'll just run the show.
I feel like he could have possibly used a character, the Flyrant, better for that. Depending on move distances and everything, that might have been the more valuable kind of exchange there. So his Dimakaran can absorb the fire. Now the Dimakaran's going to absorb the fire and or be out of position.
Yeah. That's okay, though. It's fast. And if it survives, which it can survive against those Plasma Inceptors, it just goes and kills the Plasma Inceptors.
Well, I'm guessing that Noah's going to try and take those Stalker bolt rifle intercessors, pop them out a little bit to shoot at the Dimakaran, I would assume. And he's going to try and kill the Dimakaran with other shooting and drop those plasma Inceptors, I would assume, somewhere else where they might have a line of sight on just one Hive Guard kind of near this center left objective. If that's possible. I can't obviously top down, I can't tell. But that would be what I would do, is try and find the smallest line of sight option there and pour fire in there. Or just go for the monster and rely on the rest of my army to kill the Dimakaran.
Yeah, depending on where he positions his guys, he can have a lot of options. Like if the Plasma Inceptors are like, he decides, okay, these are dedicated, they're going to kill the Dimakaran. But if you have a couple of those units that are just sitting around waiting, it's perfect. Yeah. Okay, the Plasma Inceptors failed. That's fine. I've got a couple more Inceptors.
I got my Stalker bolt rifles. I've got my other stuff. So
I'll go take off those last 2 wounds. I'm curious, Chuck, if you wouldn't mind finding out what that second Dimakaran did for us. Or if it hasn't swung yet. It doesn't look like. Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
So so right now they're discussing whether or not Noah wants to interrupt on the Dimakaran.
Mm-hmm. I would say no. I think that's a poor choice.
I don't see the value unless there's some secret sauce in one particular chapter tactic he can drop onto that would actually make it matter, like it's -1 attack or -1 to hit or something like that. Cool, that would be worth it. But otherwise,
and if he was to try and pull forward, even just to get onto the objective more, I just think it means that now Colin knows exactly who he's about to target with his attacks, and he'll pull him off the objective again.
So Harvey Danger wants to know what 3 characters Noah has. I know he has the Captain and the Apothecary, and I believe the 3rd character is Libby.
Yeah, Librarian. That's what you had said to me earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
It still doesn't seem like that second Dimakaran has attacked.
Unless it whiffed.
It might have. Oh, okay. It must have been pulled from. Okay,
yeah,
so
we were too busy pontificating.
Yeah. It just probably was pulled from the other blob of blue, and I just didn't notice it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah, so I shouldn't. Sorry, when I said earlier that the Demakaran killing the Inceptors is trading up, that was incorrect because I forgot that these were not plasma Inceptors. If it's a 5-man plasma Inceptor squad, the Demakarans definitely trade up, but the non-plasma Inceptors, the Demakarans are swinging down a little bit, but it's still worth it.
As a 10-point difference per model.
Yeah.
We're trying to, Peter. We're trying to tell him what he says.
Chuck isn't saying anything important. Yes, I believe only one unit. I'll look. I have the.
I think the ones in reserve are plasma.
Right in front of me. There is one. Yes, so one squad is Assault Bolter. One squad is Plasma Exterminator, and the other squad is Bolter as well. So yes, the 3 pure Inceptor squads are 2 Bolter and 1 Plasma.
Hey, stream, can you hear me now?
I would think so.
Well, we'll wait and see.
No, it's not even. It's not fair. I can't find out.
There we
Sweet.
go.
All right, well, that'll
Hey,
put
we
that.
have a Chuck.
All right, Chuck, any updates for us that you want us to know?
So they just finished out turn 1. Big scores so far. Noah's roping 3 and Colin's got 2. That's all off of secondaries. I believe that's the engaging going on there. So far, just a lot of, killing each other, trying to edit each other's armies before the real battle begins.
Yeah,
You can hear the players in the background with me because I'm right next to them. But
the pieces are definitely in place right now. I'm curious as to how Noah responds to this, because he's got a lot of pressure on him right now.
So I feel like I would really expect to see Noah dropping something in the top, not where the Dimakaran is, but the next over top left objective. That feels like the open area that he can really start pumping in some damage, and he can move those intercessors and another squad of jump infantry up to towards the center and possibly kill 2 monsters, which would be a good exchange for him. But I think that he's also realistically, what needs to happen for him right now, he needs to kill both Daimakarans and do serious damage to either the Hive Guard or the other large shooting monster, which I'll never remember the name of. Exocrine. Sorry, the one that sounds like a drug you'd get from Russia.
Definitely illegal drugs.
yeah, the Exocrine is interesting. We've talked several times about Colin just about removing the Exocrine to bring in other more movable items. But the firepower he brings is great, and then the pressure of the Daimakarians on you means that he rarely gets punished for moving into position and shooting.
And that's where I feel like Noah needs to commit to that upper left Dimakaran and then drop his plasma guys to take out the Exocrine. If he can pull off both of those things and then do good damage to the lower Dimakaran, that's his, in my opinion, like that's what's going to get him the most value for regaining control of the tempo of this game. But he might see a different play that is going to keep him more on the point side of things that I'm not seeing.
You may be overestimating just how much they're going to do, though. I don't actually think he has the firepower to kill all 3 of those monsters.
I think he does if he spends, I think it's about 6 CP.
Oh, okay. You know Deathwatch better than I do. 6 CP is quite the expenditure.
Yeah, they have the ability to basically reroll all wounds at all times. So
fair enough.
Yeah. I will tell you from being on Noah's end of this army before, if he doesn't kill both those Daimakarans, they are going to tear him apart. So even then, I would say if he just kills the 2, he's still in the game.
Absolutely,
but that's a rough order still.
And that's what I'm trying to say is like if that doesn't happen, we're in real trouble here. But that's what Noah needs to see happen. I'm not necessarily saying it will happen, but that's really what Noah needs to be focused on making.
Yeah, Demakarans over Exocrine is definitely his right choice as far as what he needs to pay attention to.
check. Is this pretty good, or does this need?
Yeah, let's do that. It's pointed at most of your guys's.
Well, I just moved it, so.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
Messed it up.
No, it's good.
It looks good.
So we need to go. Oh, I didn't do something on command phase that I should have done. If you don't mind. I would like to call my Ectoclades.
Yeah, reroll ones against the other guys. That seems great.
This is the funny thing too. We can see Noah moving backwards to wall out some deep strikers,
But for their benefit, he did the
and it doesn't seem like it should be that great. But it turns out 90 shots from those Termagants is actually pretty real. It's getting into the realm of there is just so many shots that it still kill a bunch of Marines.
Noah's just activated a relic. It's going to allow him to reroll wounds on targets, being the Dimacarians. So he's going to definitely get a lot more damage in using something like that.
Now, did Deathwatch have an ability to fall back and shoot? Or those 2 units that the Dimacarian was attached to, are they kind of out of it for this turn?
I think Mitch was saying that they do. Can you explain it to us, Mitch?
Oh, sorry. What was the question?
The fall back and shoot you're talking about?
Okay, so he can fall back and shoot with a stratagem normally. I think that's an Inceptor strat. And then he also has the ability to give any chapter tactic to any one squad so he can make them Ultramarines so they can fall back and shoot as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's going to need it. He's going to need those other Inceptors to... The 6 that he had locked up, he's going to need those to be part of this volley.
Oh, if I had noticed that, I would have been much more aroused than I am right now. Great.
All right, good. I'm glad that there's going to be some counterplay here.
You come over here with the 2 guys.
Gotta like even games on stream.
It's the best. Like we want a tight game.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
As long as it's earned.
Yeah.
Remember that they ignore everything when they move.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll try to not let my bias for Tyranids shine through too strong.
Man. They jump. They got hops.
That's actually. And he's only going to get. Okay, so.
All right, looks like we're finishing up Noah's movement phase, so we're going to turn the players on for the last of it in the shooting phase.
Please do.
I'm at the end of my movement phase. I'm about to. I think I'm going to bring in the plasma dudes because I think that's just what I have to do.
Shocking.
We have the Falcon also commenting.
I am surprised. I don't know what to tell you.
Shoot for 1 CP. So yeah, that would be the other version. It's not Inceptor specific.
I guess I'll probably put the Feel No Pain on them and do my best to kill Dimacarians. I think is what I just have to do. All right, so plasma guys will go.
You got a reroll ones or nearby then?
Captain?
Okay. He better be within 6 of them.
So there's.
So.
Okay.
Did we see Noah bring down his reserve Inceptor squad, or did that not happen?
Okay.
Doesn't look like it yet.
Yeah, I don't see them on the table.
I do not expect that Dimacarian to live through this, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were saying rerolls because of overcharge. Yes.
He's still moving though.
Well, even with reroll, with overcharge
Could be
rerolls,
that
I
he's
like
about
to
to try-
murder
there.
a bunch of
You just
mine.
grabbed
I
him.
lost 6 in my game last
I
night. with
definitely
shots.
think it's a
But
mistake.
I was also shooting 30 shots a
You
turn with my units because of
the
orcs.
firepower
So,
now,
Yeah.
and it looks like he's positioning them to kill that Dimacarian, which is the correct. So it looks like he's setting himself up to be within aura range, so he's probably going to have reroll wounds. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. So we're talking about a serious amount of firepower going the Dimacarian's way. He's just sorting out the inches in between.
It's so funny to me to have the gaunts be off the table. Like, brace yourself. Get ready for 30 Termagants. Woo!
Hey, they win games.
Yeah. Well, the crazy part
are just other conscripts.
Yeah. The funny part is, of course, they can shoot twice as well with the single-minded annihilation, so you can get 80 shots out of them. And they benefit, since they have so many shots, they benefit so well from the Symbiostorm, the Chronos-specific spell.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put Symbiostorm on them, they hit 60 of their 90 shots.
Yeah, that seems good. The minimum of an average of what, 10 wounds, even if you're wounding on 6s.
Yeah. Yeah. His move here, where he's brought the the Stalker Bolt Rifle Intercessors forward, and I don't know what he's put at the back there, the very back corner to wall out. But that's the right move, because I'm fairly certain that out of cover, the Gaunts will completely pick up those Intercessors. They'll just say, okay, here's 30 wounds, you fail 10 of them, your squad disappears.
That unit in the back, there's a unit of heavy intercessers.
Okay.
Holding up.
Yeah, they're gonna tank those gun shots a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go back to the players because they are getting into the shooting now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because apparently my librarian has some significant. He
Well,
was heavily drinking
I
last
rerolled
night.
failed. No, still no. I rerolled failed catalyst and the failed catalyst, so I feel your pain.
And do we have 18 inches on? We'll smite the Dimicarion because
All right.
he's the closest.
Why not, right? -1.
So goes off on 5.
Okay.
So D3. 3.
Well, that was rude. He's at 14. Okay. Where's the librarian at?
Boop. He got lightning coming out of his hand and a spear.
Oh, and he's a Primaris Marine dude. Okay.
Yeah, but he's on the regular base.
I believe you. It's fine.
All right. Shoesting. Well, we know some things are just going to happen. So we're going to overcharge these guys into the sky.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the annoying thing.
You have to do each gun individually.
I know. Yes, that's why I said this is the annoying thing.
Okay.
All right, first guy's number of shots. He'll have 6.
Just do him.
Okay.
Just do him. 3 and then 3. You have to do them one at a time. Because if the first one kills him, he doesn't get to shoot again.
First gun. Reroll once. It's good.
3
3
hits.
hits.
Okay.
Second gun. Reroll once.
5 hits?
5 hits. You want me to just resolve them all the way through the end?
Yeah, I'll keep track.
Okay.
That's 5.
All right, and then the next guy.
1 and then 3.
So 4. So first gun.
Okay.
And 3.
So,
So
3 more
hits.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to tell you, just roll right in front of you. I can
Okay,
see from over
sorry
here.
about that.
I wear these glasses thing. I'm good.
Okay. So
Third guy?
Third guy. 2 and 3. So I'll do the 3 gun first.
Well, okay, that's fine. Go ahead. He's dead.
He dead. And with 1 hit.
Okay. Roll the wound.
No wound.
Okay, so he died. 4th guy.
4th guy.
No, before you do this, you can't decide which gun you're going to roll first after you roll number of shots.
Okay.
So I would do
The black die will always be the second.
That's what you have to do.
Okay,
2 and then 1.
2 and 1.
It's dumb, but I might as well play it the way it's supposed to be.
Sure.
And then the black die.
Oh, I get to reroll wounds against Dimicarions. Hold on, that
You
one.
haven't rolled wounds yet. Oh yes.
Yeah, you made me roll 1. So.
Okay.
Okay, and then the 1 shot. Hits.
So 2 hits. And
Oh, we're just keeping track of hits, right?
no, this is wounds. You got 8 wounds on me so far, right?
No, I've
Oh,
only
we're just
rolled
doing
hits
hits?
with everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2.
So that's 2 hits, and then the last guy. First gun, second gun. 3 and 3.
Okay.
2 hits.
1 hit.
1 hit.
So 3 hits.
Yep.
So you got 5, 10, 13 hits,
Okay.
and you get to reroll wounds,
6,
right?
7.
You reroll once the wound or everything?
Everything.
Okay.
No,
Because of your relic that he's
Yeah,
near?
against Dimicarions.
But that relic popped and he wasn't on the table? Is that a thing?
No, he's on the table right here.
He pops an aura?
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets an aura called Tomb of Ectoclades.
You're fine. I was just trying to understand.
13,
Yes.
4,
12.
8, 12.
12.
10, 12. That one got
So
healed.
this is 3s rerolling?
This is 3s reroll.
Yep. You did pretty good. 12?
Die. You want me to reroll that 3? It was shocked. 12.
Okay.
12, and we're in tactical. Oh, so I'm supposed to pick my
AP
doctors
doesn't
every turn.
matter.
I was always going to progress to tactical this turn anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. AP doesn't matter.
Okay.
I have a 5-up invul, so it doesn't matter. So
12.
let's see. If I fail 9 of these, I die.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, the odds of what I will fail. Well, I passed exactly 3 of them, so I could re-roll and try to save him at 2 wounds. Do you have anything else that can reach that guy?
I do. I have a whole squad of heavy intercessors because I have 36-inch range
Okay,
guns.
I'll just let him die.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Next squad will be much less complicated.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to put all of this squad into that Dimicarion.
Okay.
Okay, so they're all essentially the same profile. They're all going to be strength 5, AP 2.
Okay.
They're all going to be, they're not gets hot or anything, and they're all within range.
Okay.
So I'm going to have 30 off of the 5 Inceptors,
Okay.
and then another, they move, so only another 5 off of the 5 Heavy Inceptors. Well, are you in, or Heavy Intercessors, are you in 36? I mean, are you in 18, I guess, of the Heavy Interceptors? You are? So actually, it's going to be just the straight, it's going to just be straight 40 shots.
Okay.
40 strength 5, AP 2, 1 damage.
Okay. You do like 20 at a time or
Yeah.
something? Okay.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20.
So we've just seen Noah take out the top left Dimakaran. Huge deal for him. He's seen his forward pressure against his list decrease by at least 50% right there from that. So that's a huge deal. So the thing about Tyranids is you have to chew your wounds, right? Like whenever you're playing against a Tyranid list, there's going to be a ton of wounds. There's going to be a lot to get through, and you have to know how to get through that. Reducing, like just wiping out a monster right off the bat is a huge deal for Noah. He's gonna, and we're gonna see right now if he's gonna be able to take out the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, because next turn the pressure is going to ramp back up as Swarmlord and Hive Tyrant join into the mix.
Absolutely, that's a turn 3 Noah problem, as you said earlier. But at the same time, like taking out the Dimakarans is the #1 Marine killer for 3 wound profile that Colin has. So the second those guys disappear, Noah can breathe a sigh of relief. So it's a big deal for him to be able to just jump on, and like it's an important exchange right now. If he whiffs enough that one Dimakaran lives with 1 wound, massive pivot.
Yeah, because the Dimakarans heal. They have the adaptive physiology, accelerated digestion. So every kill that they get in combat, up to a maximum of 3 per turn, they just get that back in wounds. So if you leave them on 1, the second they get back into combat, they'll dig themselves out of bracketing.
Which I think is actually a really great way to design a unit. It makes it compelling and interesting, and it makes it something that can't be ignored until it's dead. And that's a much more interesting way to design a unit than to have it become irrelevant when it's near death.
Yeah, and one of the big things that made the Tyranid Forge World stuff quite good is that their bracketing profile is not nearly as damaging as the regular Tyranid monsters. They only lose 2 things off their profile, as opposed to 3, which is what all the old Tyranid monsters are. They lose 3 things degrade. And the Forge World one's only 2 things degrade. And one of them for the Dimakaran is weapon skill, which isn't that bad because they get to reroll all hits in combat with their weapon.
There goes that second Dimakaran.
Oh, you got him.
The big deal, super important swing. That makes this a game.
Yeah.
By no means in the bag for either player, but that's going to keep it interesting, which is what we want for a stream. So I'm going to take this moment right now to say that if you want to donate, you can go to charityhammer.com and find all the information there. $30 gets you an entry. We've got a golden Necron army. We've got thousands of dollars in other prizes. I think almost an entire orc army in new inbox. Just crazy amounts of stuff that have been donated for to raise money for cancer research and for Vince's family. Please check out charityhammer.com and donate whatever you can. We'll be doing another raffle at the end of the round, I believe.
Yeah, and the donations, $30 gets you your little ticket into the raffle. But if you don't want to spend $30 and you're not worried about the prizes, $5 helps. Like, whatever is what you can throw in is fine.
And 100% of your donations go to the causes. Everything that's happening on stream, all of the costs to put this event on, we absorb, and all of the money that's donated 100% goes to charity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if you're not in a position where you can donate anything, that's also completely fine. We do need a lot of help get the word out. So if you could go over and share it on Facebook or with your friends, let other people know. The more people we have involved, the more likely we are to get those charities going. And it really helps to see, the number of people in the community who are involving themselves. So please do so.
Well, and also, if you're not able to donate right now and still want to participate in the raffles, that's no problem. We're going to be doing quiz questions later on. Not every 3 hours, but we will be doing them intermittently while you're watching, and you'll be able to reply to biffpod@gmail.com. Or no, I'm sorry, bestinfaction@gmail.com. It's not biffpod, bestinfaction@gmail.com. And you can reply there with the answers to the trivia questions, and you'll be able to enter into the same raffles without any cost.
Yeah, so for round one,
we haven't done oath for turn 2 yet. This is oath for turn 1.
You're right. Okay. All right.
So I will be right back.
Right, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, okay.
This is my first time playing this list, and it's fun. I don't know, but I think it's good. It's just.
So something to be mentioned is that the death of the Demacarans, one of the reasons it's so important is because this follow-up pressure coming from the Swarmlord and the Hive Tyrant, it wasn't conditional. It's not like if the Demacarans die, then the Swarmlord and Hive Tyrant engage. They were going in this turn. That's just what's happening. So if the Demacarans aren't brought down, you just now have to deal with 4 monsters in your grill as opposed to 2.
Yeah,
and I think the game's just over at that point.
I've had that experience a few times now, and it's twofold too, because we were talking about earlier is the Dymacharians get those wounds back. So
Yes.
if he does it very, very cleverly, he puts them in easier fights, kills a few things, and is healing himself up while putting the pressure in with the other monsters, so they take the hits. So on turn 3 or turn 4, you have mostly fixed up Dymacharians that want to fight, and at that point you're done. You've run out of steam, and it just rolls you over.
Yeah, if you can ever get the Demacarans to where your opponent can't just kill them, and you get into this kind of chippy, small damage back and forth, the Demacarans win.
Oh yeah, it's bad. I have I don't know, put in like maybe 5 reps or so against this, and you definitely want to ball up because you can't get spread out against this list.
Oh, my cat's trying to make a stink. The mic will probably pick that up.
That's all right. We're interested to hear. That's what you think, Kat.
I don't know if he's got a whole lot of smart stuff to say, but he's somebody has asked in the chat if there's a way to donate that isn't PayPal, like Venmo or something, and I don't know that answer.
We only have the one path. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So for those of you that can't hear Chuck,
I'm on live with you now.
Okay, perfect.
I fixed that.
Okay.
That is the one vector we have. That's a good note, though. I will take that, and we'll see if we can do something about it this time or next, so that we can have more avenues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PayPal is a good system, and I think the reason a lot of people do it is it's very secure. You know, nobody wants to get their money robbed from them. But yeah, 1 or 2 more ways to donate would be good, because I know a lot of people already have a Venmo account. And
this is an important turn.
See here.
That is still a lot of Marine bodies on there.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you.
They might start getting deleted pretty quick.
There should be thought that has to take place. Interesting. There we go. Every turn should be. Yeah. So
another question I have here, Chuck, and you might be able to remember this rather than asking them, is did Colin shoot twice with the Hive Guard? Did I miss that?
It's only that relic, man. That strength.
I'm not 100% sure, but I know just the guy to ask. Hey, Colin, on your turn, did you fire twice with the Hive Guard? Okay. And was it...
But the second time I looked hard and only killed 1 dude.
Oh, okay.
A squad that had to feel no pain.
Great. Thank you. He did, in fact, pay the CP to fire twice, but the bullets didn't want to go at the enemy.
That's fair.
They were more of like a scaring them, sort of littering the area around them. You really want to get the intimidation factor.
More of a warning shot.
Yeah. They went so hard on that first volley.
Yeah, just to get their attention, really. But it did kill 1 guy.
So what we're seeing here is Noah really take a commanding control of the right side of the board, and now it becomes sort of a shooting match, and it's only going to take Noah probably 2 turns to really push forward up onto those Hive Guard and onto the Ectoclades. So there's the very good possibility that the damage that that Noah will be able to inflict on his next turn will be enough that Colin's going to have a hard time maintaining a good board presence.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Noah needs to focus on is board control.
Yeah.
Because there's another 30 gaunts coming on.
Exactly. So, like, the thing for Noah is his priority swaps now, right? He is no longer trying to kill the giant monsters. He wants to do that, but he needs to be controlling the board and the objective simultaneously to not bleed points.
Yeah. Yeah, and Colin is going to try the best he can to gut that center. And depending on
real quick, I wanted to thank Seth the Mad Doc for sharing the event info on the Dangly Boys page. Thank you very much, Seth.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's really important to note about that turn as well is that was with the Tome of Ectoclades, so now there won't be another version of a turn where he gets to reroll those wounds.
That's a big deal.
Well, he'll still be able to reroll wounds with specific units against specific.
Well, you get the reroll ones and such.
Well,
but
no.
A full reroll is much different on these large monsters.
Well, but he can get a full reroll still, depending on if the squad is selected to target heavy support or elites or etc. He can still get that. It's harder and it's more selective, but it is still possible. So that really comes down to what Noah selected, and we're going to find out whether or not that happens.
And it's always selected the turn.
No way I can hear what you're saying unless I take this off. Huh. Oh.
Because like everyone's using multiple like single knights with different profiles, and it's against a data sheet.
Oh, well, it'll work against them now because I just made everybody realize Mangara is the best one.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks.
Here to help.
Yeah, as Falcon says in the chat, he does have other ways to reroll wounds. They're more selective and more situational, but it's still possible. So it's really down to what Noah's selected.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't really ask for a better situation than like 2 Dimacarians jumped into your lines and you have an item that says, hey, reroll wounds against a data sheet. Right.
Yeah,
he's going to have to be paying a lot more for this.
As the Falcon also says, he also has the strat where he automatically wounds on a hit roll of 6 against any Tyranid Synapse creature.
Right, that is the anti-Tyranid.
Yeah.
Deathwatch.
Yeah, and so that's a big problem for that Flyran.
These ones in my deployment zone, they'll go ahead and scramble. And these guys will do data tether.
Okay, great.
But you know what? They're actually going to do data tether while hiding for a turn.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, the nice thing about this for Colin is I believe that there is now at least few enough that there's no way that Scramblers is being stopped. I believe that is going to be a guaranteed 10 points.
He's getting scrambling and other data tethers using all the space.
So I think one of the things to really keep in mind here, and towards the guns that are going to be coming on the table, is that Noah has an abundance of basically 3-shot weapons that are going to get max shots towards that horde of Gons. So if Colin isn't able to set up right now, them landing, they will just get wiped out because they'll be the easy, obvious target.
This is the 30 going on. Just walking on from the side of the table.
Yeah.
You get bored easily, don't you?
I like challenges, and I like feelings of accomplishment. I like accomplishment that comes from large things that require a lot of.
I am interested to see what Colin is going to decide.
So painting orcs was a thing.
That's how I feel about earning my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't deserve you. What are you doing?
Talk about that fire for the chat.
We're on turn 3.
Nope, this is turn 2.
Oh, is it 2 still?
Yeah.
Damn. I am sorry, guys.
First turn, sorry.
It's been a really rough first 2 turns, guys. We're on the bottom of turn 2.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
I actually can go.
This is, I mean, even if we don't finish, which I think we'll probably get pretty close, like, this is a good learning game, I think, for both sides. I haven't played this list. You wanted to play into a good line, and I think this seems like a pretty good.
Well, I want to play into Admech, but we didn't have time this weekend.
You said there's a TV on, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking
if
I'm
Well,
going to predict what Colin's going to do here. So obviously the Hive Tyrant is going to put everything into the Plasma Inceptors. He's got Psychic Scream and Smite and Shooting, which probably kills 1 to 2 of the Inceptors. Then on the charge, he can probably deal even more damage. the Exocrines and the Hive Guard can go and shoot behind that.
Yeah.
The Gaunts go into the only plasma inceptors that you can see.
Does the Exocrine require LOS?
Yes, it does.
So really, it's only going to be able to shoot at the Inceptors or the Intercessors behind.
I think it's fine shooting at those Intercessors. I think that's a perfectly good choice for it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's limited. If Noah's okay with losing those, it may be playing into Noah's general strategy there. Honestly, I feel like Noah's biggest struggle in this game is nullifying the Hive Guard. I feel like they're the biggest problem for this army because they dish out damage unretributable. Like it's you can't retaliate.
Yeah, it's something he wants to stop, but when are you going to find the time to do it when all this stuff is pushing at you wave after wave after wave?
Precisely. Yeah. No, and that's the thing is I feel like that 5-man squad, that has to be what they were there for. But I understand you have to get rid of the Dimacarans as well. So like it's too much pressure, and it's where do you put things? And I feel like I would have pushed more to claim the upper objective, since it's going to be uncontested unless the Hive Guard want to move there, which they won't. So I would have probably pushed more to that upper quadrant so that you can kill the Dimacaran, take over that objective, and then you're forcing the Hive Guard to make a decision. So if they're going to shoot at the guys on the objective, you can transhuman them, and then it's a straight up roll-off. They become whatever unit you send to that upper objective becomes a distraction carnifex, more or less.
I have no idea.
Yeah, he had to kill the Dimacaran. Not killing the Dimacaran to wait to kill the Hive Guard with the Plasma Inceptors would have been playing too passively.
Well, and that's the thing, like, stepping away from this game a little bit, talk about the Dimacaran, I think it's such an admirable unit in the sense of it is exactly what a player like me wants, in that if you ignore it, you're screwed. If you attack it, you might not be screwed, but it dictates the actions of your opponent so much.
Yeah, it forces overextension.
Yeah, and I really enjoy knowing that I'm bringing a unit that is going to force my opponent to conform to my plan, not their own.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah, and so like I think that it's a really phenomenal unit that way. I think that what's interesting is Noah's list is not entirely different from that, insofar as with how many Inceptors it has and everything. It's forcing you to address the general threat of those units, and basically daring you to be like, basically, can you deal this many wounds or not?
Yeah. Yeah, can you punch through like 35 toughness 5 body or wounds? Like, if not,
yeah, no, it's really cool how, like, these are both really cool lists that I feel like force decisions on your opponent, and I think that that's the hallmark of any good list competitively.
Yeah, I've always been a very aggressive player, so I like building these aggressive lists, and the aggressive isn't.
I knew there was a reason we got along. Go ahead.
I like playing aggressively because typically that means that you're interacting with your opponent the whole time. It makes a very back and forth game. From a competitive standpoint, I like aggressive lists because it forces decision making on my opponents all the time, and I'm looking for them to make that wrong decision.
Yeah. So I would agree with what you're saying in general. I tend to look at it like the terminology I tend to use is I try to play a game that leaves every opportunity to let my opponent make a mistake, and then for me to jump on that.
Yeah.
Right, because I feel like that's my strength in 40K is I can identify, oh, you made the wrong move here, I'm going to exploit. And so I've built an entire tactical acumen to try and get my opponents to make those mistakes. Right?
Yeah. I'm going to push the issue again and again and again. Each time you're going to come to a crossroad, and I'm going to see which path you take and where that leads us.
Exactly. And creating that sort of, I guess, no matter what, you're reacting to me is what I want, right? As a competitive player, I want you to be making decisions based on my decisions, not vice versa.
Yeah. Now, it looks like he got a super smite.
It does.
Which happens because he's got a +1 to cast.
Yep.
I'm going to quick... it is Alex, Fred. I am the one casting it.
Generalissimo, I'm the one who sounds like knockoff Joe Rogan, apparently. That's what I've been told.
I've been told that sometimes I sound like Rich Evans from Red Letter Media, and I don't know if that's a compliment or not. The interesting thing here, I guess it didn't matter because Colin wiped the squad, but I definitely would have abandoned that objective and pulled away from the Hive Tyrant to make sure that the Hive Tyrant didn't get the charge. Because he had a big string of the 5 Plasma Inceptors there.
Yep.
And I would have been pulling away.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of spider webbing going on Noah's end, and it may be a reflection of a lack of playing Krak and Tyranids recently or something like that, where he's leaving himself open to a lot of finessey plays, is how I'd put that.
Mm-hmm. He's still got this strong core on the right-hand side, though, and we'll see if
No, Noah's 100% in the game here. This is anyone's game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Generalissimo Fred is someone who I had the pleasure to play in Illinois when I went there for Christmas with my girlfriend's family.
Nice.
I played a janky Inquisition list with 3 Land Raider, the Inquisition ones with the double quad heavy bolters, and I made them untargetable. I lost because I kept forgetting that they're only untargetable if another unit is visible, and I kept hiding units because I'm very rusty. But super great guy, fun. Prometheus, thank you, Fred. But yeah, always nice to see people who you get to go to different areas in the country and experience.
I see the dice app is out, so I realize that we're shooting tournaments right now.
Oh well, sorry, Fred. You're a lower priority than a dice app.
No, I had to mention.
I'm joking.
Comes out, and you're like, okay, well, we know what's happening.
Yeah. Yep.
Chuck, if you want to go over the players, actually, since we're into the shooting phase.
Yes, please let us know what's going on. Yep.
18. I am making 22 3-up saves.
Yeah, so I smited, basically Smite destroyed these guys plus the Exocrine. Exocrine did a little damage here. Now these guys are shooting into here.
Here's good. Oh, that's not good. There's a dead guy. There's a dead guy. And there's a dead guy. Ooh, perfect math.
Whoa! Okay, well, let's give the stream a moment for Alex to calm down.
Yes!
Man, oh man. Okay. For the record, if you would, I don't know if you would touch this if you get cover anymore.
No, so there were 2 models touching, but they just ruled, at least like all the TTS and stuff rules that if you're not in the terrain, you don't get the cover.
Okay, fair enough.
And so I just was playing, because they wouldn't be dead if I had a 2-up save.
Fair enough. That makes sense. So this would be an 8-inch charge if I want for me to try to get them.
Okay.
I have the Hive Guard to shoot twice. I don't think the Hive Guard can reach those guys. I would like those guys to die. They can't. Over here, I've got that unit of 3 dudes to shoot at still that's not transhuman.
Yes.
It's really 3 guys here, 3 guys
4
here.
4 here, 3 here.
And then this big unit.
10.
And that's everything, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm
that's
killing
the whole army right now.
I'm killing you with a quickness. Is that what we're saying?
Well, there's only 24 models in the, or only 37 models in the army.
Okay.
So like, yes, but there's still the strongest unit in the army is still alive.
Which is these guys?
These green guys, yeah.
Yeah.
They reroll all wounds against heavies.
Right, and they're transhuman.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but there's also the 3 dudes standing behind them that are not transhuman.
That's true. That's a good one to shoot.
Yeah. I might shoot both. I'm going to shoot 6 into each.
Okay. You can play
so
them both at the same time?
What's that?
Is this one shooting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll do 6 into let's start with the 3 guys that don't have transhuman.
Okay.
That are T5 still?
Yeah.
They're T5?
These are T4. These are
They're
T5
T4,
with a
that's what
6
I
up
thought.
field.
So, okay, here we go. 6 shots. Reroll 1s. Okay. The 2s go away, 1, 2 comes back.
Okay.
2s to wound. 5 wounds at AP2 on those 3 intercessors.
Okay. And I forgot I had a 6-up Feel No Pain on that squad from my Apothecary.
Oh, you do. It's true.
No saves.
Okay, so there's 5 of them.
Yeah, and there's three of them, 5 wounds, and they have a 6-up Feel No Pain.
3 wounds on the first guy.
No.
2 wounds on the next guy.
No.
3 wounds on the next guy. As a Marine player, I know that the 6-up Feel No Pain doesn't actually work.
Do you mind if I roll it for these 2 that were on the...
Which 2?
Because I put 2 wounds on these guys who
Oh,
are
yeah,
within
go.
range.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't actually work. You're right.
Here's this. No, it doesn't ever do anything. Here's the 6 shots into the unit that is transhumaned.
Sure.
That misses, but it comes back.
Okay.
4s. 4.
Okay. 5 ups.
Okay.
1.
D3s.
Yep.
First guy takes 3. Takes
Still
1.
kills him.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Next guy takes 1.
Okay.
And then 3 more, so he takes 4.
He does.
Okay. And then the final one takes 3.
He takes 1 wound.
Okay. So did I kill a guy from that
You
big
killed
scare
2
unit?
guys.
From the
total.
big scare unit?
Yeah.
Oh,
2 guys
wow.
total this year.
Well, that's great. I am actually going to move this guy 9 inches forward
Okay.
to right here. And he's touching that. He can touch the objective barely. It's like by a millimeter.
Okay.
Come on, there you go. So he's on that objective, and then he's got a, it looks like a 7-inch charge now that I'm actually in position.
Okay.
If it's 7 or 8, we'll measure carefully.
Sure.
I'm going to shoot again,
Sure.
and I'm going to shoot entirely into that big unit,
All right, bring it.
because I can't reach anything else.
Sure.
Basically, my thought is if I do a bunch of damage to them and then he takes them out, it's pretty bad for you.
Sure. Absolutely. That is true.
So a lot of 1s to be re-rolled. 6 1s to be re-rolled? Let's get the 2s out of there. Nobody likes you 2s. Even more 2s. That's like the worst hive guard shooting ever. There we go. 2, 4, 6. That's only 8. So 4 by average. 2. Dos.
2 5 ups. Failable.
Okay.
the
First
first
guy
one.
takes 3.
He's dead.
Okay. Next guy takes 2. He won't die though. Don't worry. He only took 2.
Oh, yeah.
Don't roll more than you have to, my friend. Okay, I've done all of my shooting. Stormlord's going to try what we believe is an 8-inch charge.
Okay.
He'll get a 6. I'll think about re-rolling it, because frankly, he will mess them up.
We're at 2 CP.
I'm at 1 CP, and you're at 0 CP.
I am.
I'll be at 0 CP as well. Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, reroll that.
Okay. There it is.
7.
For sure an 8 gets it, because 9's all the way to here.
Sure.
Hey, look, I'm on the objective, and I'm fighting you.
Okay.
You're OBSEC. No, you're not. You're
The
not
pink
OBSEC.
squad is not OBSEC.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
on a
the
squad by
purple
squad
squads.
basis.
It is. The purple squads are OBSEC. So if you like split them out because they are a kill team.
Okay.
It was a troop choice.
There's nobody here for him to charge, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you can pull a long bomb here.
That you could overwatch?
Yeah, for sure could.
Well, you couldn't overwatch. You've got no CP.
Oh, you're right. But it's 12. It is literally
And then you would
12.
have 1 CP to fall back and shoot.
Yes.
He would kill, and then they would punch and not do anything to me. He might kill one.
I mean, it is.
Well, there's no
maybe
reason-
it's just out, actually.
Oh, is it just out? Okay,
But
that's fine.
is that above his base? Yeah, it's out.
Okay.
By like an 1/8 of an inch.
That's fine. 6 attacks from Swarmlord, and then the tail.
Yep.
We'll just do the tail second so that there's no question.
Your strength 10?
No.
Okay.
We need you on 3s. Man. Well, Swarmlord doesn't reroll 1s is the biggest problem with Swarmlord.
2.
So, mortal wound and 2.
Okay, and they're AP4?
I think he's AP3.
Okay.
But I haven't fought with him in a while,
So I'll
let's
roll
just-
2 6s, 2 dice.
It doesn't
That didn't
matter.
matter.
So 2 of them die.
Okay, and then a mortal wound on a guy.
Yes. The mortal wound would technically happen first, so you dodge having to worry about it,
Okay.
which is not what's best for me, but it's the way it works. Tail? Nothing.
Okay.
That's fine. At least I took the objective from you, right?
Well, so how does this work? Since we push, since neither of us are OBSEC, and I controlled it, and it says you control. We should read the wording on the.
oh
on the
yeah, you
mission.
probably still get to have it until
Yeah.
you leave.
Yeah, I
would
think that's
imagine.
true.
I'm still fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to get more points.
You should punch me though.
Yeah, I will. 1 hit. No wound.
Okay.
I lost 2 guys. I can't fail.
Okay. And then how many guys did these guys lose?
They lost 2.
Okay, well then they don't care.
3. They lost 3. I know they lost 3 because there should be an
So on a
incentive.
6, it's bad.
1, 2. No, they lost 2. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they lost, I don't know why. They lost 3. I don't know where the third one went.
All right, give it a roll.
They're good.
Okay. So I scrambled in my own deployment zone.
Okay.
I engaged in 3 of the quarters.
Yep.
Okay.
I pick up 1 for killing a monster this turn. For Oath of
Yeah.
Moment.
So for Oath of Moment, you got 2. No, because you fell back. So
I
you
fell
only get
back
1.
and I wasn't in the middle.
So you get 1.
Yep.
And then raise the banners at the beginning of your turn. You get 1.
I got 1.
Okay. And then data intercept.
I'll
you don't
get-
get because they died.
No, I do because I'm still holding objectives.
Oh, it's those guys back there doing
Yeah.
it.
So I get 1, 2, 3. Because you took this from me.
Okay. Okay. And then at the beginning of your turn, how many objectives do you hold?
I'm holding 3.
So you get 10.
Yeah, because you're holding 3 as well. Or you're still holding this. Yeah. Woohoo.
Okay. I wish Swarmlord was OBSEC. That'd be cool.
That would be sweet.
Or if he had not missed twice and failed to wound additional times.
Yeah, 1 CPU.
I do have some scores for you. So I won't include the score for Noah. We both have 5 primary, Chuck? We both have 5 primary. Noah has 9 secondary. I have 7 secondary. Top of 3.
How many wounds does he normally have?
12.
Okay.
4 up in full. I do not expect him to live if you don't want him to. But he's an HQ. He's not a heavy, so at least he's got that going for him. I'm going to step away and take a drink.
I'm going to go back to the commentators. Can you say I'm going back to the commentators?
We're going back to the commentators.
Look at the secondaries again. But he might be getting points off killing monsters, which would be good.
Yeah, I mean, if he has the firepower to bring down Swarmlord and the Devil Gaunts next turn, great. That keeps him in the game. If he doesn't, that's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
Some great stuff though. Like it's like it's nice to see Tyranids be dynamic and aggressive in a which I obviously they were in 8th for part of the time, but also Gaunt Carpet was the other part of the time, which was not dynamic at all.
No.
So I much prefer seeing this type of NIDS versus that type of NIDS.
Yeah, this is a very tactically sound army. It's very fun. It can play
cool,
patient.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
The Demacarons are a huge boost to the army. They really add something that Tyranids were lacking, which is just like raw power.
Yeah, no, it allows them to the ability to influence tempo that they formerly lacked.
Yeah,
is how I would put that.
Yeah, before sometimes the person just put something on the board, and the answer was, I just have to ignore that for the entire game. I can't kill it. My game plan is ignore it and try and win on points. And the Demacarons can go, nope, I can kill that.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, they add the extra dimension there. So now, going back to this game, I really feel like Noah needed to hold back a little bit on his first turn, so he could have lured the Demacarons out further, so they couldn't have the one on the upper left couldn't have bounced back to where it did, which forced because it was able to screen out in a way that it wouldn't have been able to do if he'd held back a little bit further and it had to be drawn forward more. It might have fallen back to that center left objective as opposed to the top left.
Yeah, Noah slowing the game down in general would have helped. Again, being far enough back that the Hive Guard couldn't shoot either.
Yeah.
Now you only take the one Demacaron?
Or they only shoot at one specific unit that you're already planning on transhumaning, and it's already going to be the charge of the Demacaron. Like,
yes, you are. Yeah, by position, you are forcing your opponents to hand decision.
Yep. Yeah. So I think that was really the biggest like misstep. Like as we're now seeing this like play out. I think that that Noah could pull it out. It's going to take some extraordinary dice and some very lucky. Luck is unfair. He's going to need things to skew his way. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we're trying to do the caster thing here where we keep the hype up, but I definitely think this is in Colin's favor.
No, it's in Colin's favor. I'm not trying to keep the hype up. I'm trying to see the path to victory, because that's always the cool thing, is if you can see where a player can play that clutch play and then it happens, that's the best, right? Like, it's the biggest payoff when you're streaming.
I think that's one of the things that makes observing like Magic the Gathering, Arena, or Hearthstone so much fun. Like if you're watching a streamer, is you can see all the card state and you go, I think I'd play this card, and then they play that card and it works. You're like, I'm so smart.
Well, so like that goes back to Alfred Hitchcock said that like the source of all tension in a scene is the audience knowing what's going to happen to a character before the character does, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. If we can anticipate the different results and then it pays off, that's always the best.
Yeah, I think if Noah can get like a real monster charge here
and touch the Hive Guard.
Yeah, wrap around to the backside and touch those Hive Guard, this game gets wild.
I tend to agree with you. We'll see if he threads that needle. He can drop whatever chapter tactic he wants on there, so there's some options.
That's right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Like that's where I see, okay, cool, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make them white scars or whatever, right? Yeah. Like you have things you can do, but whether he has the CP or he sees that play, it's going to be interesting. Can we cut over to the players' feed so we can see what's going on?
Can Chuck even hear us? Can the audience hear us? Have we been talking into the void?
I mean, I always talk into the void.
All right. So let's go to. We'll go to shooting.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start with. These two guys are going to shoot the Ectoclades.
For the psychic phase, basically, I denied both his powers. That's what you guys missed. Noah stated while you guys were gone that he wants to try to kill.
I'm not going to do it now because my movement wasn't good enough.
Well, he's going to try to kill him with shooting and charge him.
Not anymore, because he's going to be. I think he's going to. Couldn't get enough Inceptors in range.
Okay.
Because I don't think this back guy is at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just going to kill a flyer?
I'm going to put some shots here.
Okay.
And kill a flyer.
All right.
Okay, so I'll put these 6 Inceptor shots back, or 12 Inceptor shots back there.
Okay.
And then I'll put the rest of the shooting into the flyer.
All right.
Okay, so here's 3, 6.
This is
10,
this. How many?
12. 2 Inceptors.
Okay.
12 shots.
All right.
So these are going to hit on ones, reroll all wounds.
Hit on ones?
Or reroll ones, reroll all wounds.
That makes more sense.
Sorry.
Hitting on ones sounds good.
Yeah, hitting on ones would be good.
Look at all that reroll. Get all those dirty 2s out of there.
You are looking on the bright side.
2s are annoying. No one likes your 2s.
Good conversion.
And then 5s rerolling?
5s rerolling.
Oh. Okay then.
They want to live.
They're not going to.
I know. You have 4, 6, 7, AP2.
How many?
7. No,
you said the
9.
number 7, but that's
9.
not how many dice you have.
It's 9 AP2.
5 up. I'll make 2 of them because I don't like to make a third as average.
Sure.
I take 7.
Okay, cool.
So he's got 5 left.
4, 6, 8, 10.
He is degraded.
12. Yay, 14.
And everything else is shooting the fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
6, 12, 14, 16.
Deathwatch math appears to be the
18.
most complicated of all math.
18. These are rerolling ones, not rerolling any wounds.
Okay.
Winning on 5.
They can hear me? They can hear me? Okay. Guys, we're playing through this game really quickly. If you have questions for the commentators or for us, you should start asking them. We should start talking a little bit more.
6 wounds on the 5.
Okay.
And then I have one more group of shooting to do, but they're all the same profile.
4 up in vols. I presume you have AP.
AP2.
Okay, I take 2.
Okay. 2, 4, 6, 5s. No more wounds. Okay. How many wounds does he have left?
9 or 10.
Okay.
I think it's 10, but now my brain is saying, is it? You haven't played with him in a while. Oh, he should be the same as Swarmlord, because Swarmlord's just a fancy one of him. But I'm going to look up anyways, because, you know, when I get on stream and I get my rules wrong, people go, you got the rules wrong. I was right. He has 10 left.
Okay, cool.
10 left, key 7, 3 up, 5, 3 up, 4 up.
Okay, and then I'll go to...
Well, he needs to shoot. Oh,
he fell back. He can't shoot.
Okay.
I have 1 CP, but I'm not going to spend it on that.
Okay.
They'll go to charges.
Okay.
We'll declare charge in there.
I can't Overwatch.
Okay.
Nor would I if I could.
Nope.
All right.
Don't
You want to spend
reroll.
your 1 CP?
No.
Okay. You're going to transhuman him instead?
Can't on that squad until you get him down to 5, and then I can.
Okay. All right. So that's it for your turn 3?
Yep.
Okay. So you went first. So we did.
I shouldn't have fallen that guy back. I should have just let you eat him because it doesn't matter.
What?
I should have not fallen that guy back because it would have got me an extra point. Because you're going to eat him anyway. I should have not fallen him back.
That's fine. Do you want to let Stormlord eat him?
Yeah, that's fine. And then you just pull him then, because that way I didn't fall anyone back.
Because then I don't have the objective. Is that what you're saying?
No, you'll have the objective, but I'll get the VP for Oath of the Moment.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
going to fall back.
All right. Here, maybe I'll whiff. Oh, it doesn't look like I'm going to
Yeah,
whiff.
yeah, just give him the one.
Oh, I killed him with mortals. Woo!
Can you talk about using this list and also kind of how your White Scars experience is kind of the similarities of these two armies?
Okay. There's this army in the game that I call Krak and Gene Stealers. And what Krak and Gene Stealers is the beginning of 8th when the Tyranid book came out. Tyranids, nobody was doing well with Tyranids, and a couple guys were like, hey, and really McDougal, who's on commentation, is one of the main people that did this, so he can pick up wherever I leave off. The idea was, I've got these hammers that are really fragile. In the greater scheme of things, they're fragile. They move really fast, but they have a lot of shenanigans to try to keep them safe. But while you're dealing with that, the rest of my army holds the board well. See Hormagaunts, Termagants, things like that. I've got things like Swarmlord, where late game, he's just a monster.
Yeah.
Well, he's literally a monster anyways.
Literally, actually.
And you also have things like Hiveguard that would hide and just pelt. And this meta of, I've got shooting that you can't get at, I'm holding the board while you deal with the actual threats that are very hard to deal with, is what Krak and Gene Stealer did, and it's also what Double Spear Ynnari did. Double Spear Ynnari was Dark Reapers or the Hiveguard, and then the Gene Stealers were the Shining Spears. That's moved on. This list is basically that same Krak and Gene Stealer list. The Daimakerons are the Gene Stealers. The Daimakerons are so fast, and you saw how much damage they did to him. They did a lot of damage. This guy killed 4 and then died. This guy killed 4 and then died. Is that a big deal? Well, in this list, he only had 37 guys, so they killed a quarter of your dudes on the first turn, right? But the bigger deal is Noah then spent his entire turn dealing with them.
Yeah, no, that is critical.
And so he didn't get on objectives. He didn't kill my hordes. He didn't kill my gaunts. He didn't, the rest of my army's completely intact. White Scars is more like there's a central, the characters for White Scars are so powerful, it's more like there's a central super tanky death ball that's moving around, and then it's got little threats like 5-guard, Vanguard Vet Squad shooting off from it. And the problem is that while you're dealing with that, the Plasma Inceptors are obliterating your entire army because they're broken. The White Scars and the Tyranids play differently from each other. This is much harder to play. The White Scars list isn't easy to play, but this is much harder to play. I'd be interested for Alex to riff off of what I just said, because he's got just as much, even more experience with that than I do. Okay. We need to do scoring.
Yeah.
At the end of the turn, we're not there yet. Beginning of my turn, you hold this now. So I hold 1, 2, 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I hold 3.
Okay,
right.
so I get 10.
Yep.
And I get 3 from data intercept.
Yes.
Okay. And then the rest happens later.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent.
So you are 1 point ahead of me right now? I mean, you're doing better on board, but it's actually pretty close right now. I think you're about to pull ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think so too.
You say we're going back to the commentators?
We're going back to the commentators.
We're going back to the commentators.
Good to know for critical feedback. Absolutely.
That's true. Oh, there we go. Come back to us. Okay, so we're back to us. Welcome back, guys. I got some of that. We don't have Chuck in the room with us anymore, so we don't have quite the link between when we're on or not. Sometimes we know we're talking to you, sometimes we don't.
Yeah, it's been great commentary the whole time, though, definitely.
If you guys have any questions for us now, I'm not entirely sure what Colin answered entirely, but feel free to toss them into the stream chat, and I will answer as much as I can about Tyranids and this game in particular.
Yeah, I'm happy to discuss all of it. I think that there's a good amount of stuff to be discussed in the post-mortem on this game.
Yeah, I agree. Some of the things that we discussed already, but again, we're not 100% sure what the chat heard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because now Colin is going to take over the board. We've got console. This is turn 3. The Lictor is obviously going to show up in the now. Finish off Scramblers. Team Battle Brothers is raiding. All right. Welcome, Team Battle Brothers. You're catching kind of the end of the game here.
Okay, so Chuck's mic died, and that's why we can't hear him.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we need to have Colin on in the background a little bit so that they'll tell us when we're throwing back and forth to each other now.
You know what, Brad? Don't come at us out of nowhere with our turn counter lacking. It's turn 3. You can just ask me.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Don't try and take our jobs. Our union reps worked hard for this shit, man.
Yeah, bottom of 3.
Yeah, no, I think that Noah overextended turn 1 and allowed Colin to have easier decisions than he would have otherwise. And that's the only real critique I can make. I think that basically it would have, with the way Colin had deployed, if Noah had pulled back a little bit further, the upper left Dimakaran would have had to have gone further and charged further forward. So instead of falling back to the top left objective, it would have fallen over to the top, or not the top of the center left objective, which would have left opening for his plasma inceptors to drop down and kill the hive guard.
Yeah.
That's the big hole in Noah's plan there. By overextending, he allowed Colin to be able to pull back further than he probably wanted. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the Flyrant has to go back there, and then he drops the plasma inceptors behind line of sight and kills the Flyrant. Transhumans them, the Hive Guard double shoot at them. They either kill them or they don't, but if they do, then they're not killing something else that was killed in the next turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the decision making for the entire game really rolls out from the initial decision of a very aggressive turn 1 from Noah.
Yep. That dictated the whole tempo.
Yeah, and it was very fast. Both armies just
brutal stuff.
So much stuff died.
Yeah.
At this point now, it looks like the no 140. It's there it is, lists. Yep, pluralize that stuff. Also there was a question from, I'm gonna say it wrong, but Craze. Where do you, Mitch? I'm gonna let you answer this. Where do you feel Deathwatch sits in the Marine tier list?
1 second. So real quick, if you want to donate, you can go to charityhammer.com.
Isn't that also in here?
It should be. If you type in donate in the right way, I'm sure it'll pop up. Someone will give you the link there as well. But someone was asking how to donate. So where do I think Deathwatch lie? I think Deathwatch lie in the same category as Space Wolves in that they are an incredible allies. Now, if you want to go pure Deathwatch, there's probably some viable builds. They're going to have an Achilles heel no matter what. But I think that Deathwatch, just like Space Wolves, allow you to bring a toolboxiness to any other list in a patrol or, any specific, outrider or one data sheet heavy skew. I need to add this to my Imperium list. They bring a lot of versatility. and there's a lot there. I think that what they're lacking is just wound count. And that's why I say they're an ally list. You need to pair them with something that brings more wound efficiency, because them on their own, there's so much horsepower out there for taking down multi-wound models these days. They're just going to get wrecked on their own.
Yeah, actually, a very interesting thing about multi-wound models like that. Yeah, thank you, Winter. I assume that's Paul Winters, for the list there. That is my issue with Warriors right now. I really had to think this one out. Tyranid Warriors went down in 4 points, which is not insubstantial. And I kept thinking, like, are Warriors finally good? They have a stratagem that's specific to them. They've got all these things that have been put onto them. And I've understood. I finally figured out what it is. Warriors are good on paper. They are bad in this meta, because everyone is teching to kill Marines, and if you can kill Primaris bodies, you can rock through Warrior bodies.
Yep.
And everyone is prepared for 3 wounds, and the Warriors just don't cut it.
Well, and that's why the word meta means context, right? Like contextually, in the environment, in the addition, when you take everything into account, multi-wound models need to really overperform to be worth it, because everyone's teching for them. I look at all of the AdMech cavalry and jump infantry that have been introduced. I love them. I think they're amazing. But in this meta, they are not, because they're 2 wound models with 4 up saves and a 6 up invo. Cool.
Yeah, they get.
That's really neat. Like I hope you have fun with that. They just don't, or like, even 3 wounds, like they just don't cut it in the meta we're in. They aren't tough enough or cheap enough, right? Like that's the problem. And that's why, like, it's important to understand. You can look at, say, a Raider, which is I think 16 or 18 points, and is 3 wounds with a 4 up save, and it has a sniper weapon and a 6 up invo and stuff, and they're like, oh, it's okay, it's got a good stratagem, but that's about it. But then you look at a Death Corps of Krieg cavalrymen, and it's like, okay, well, it's got 3 wounds, but it's got a 4 up save, and it's got a 5 up feel no pain. Oh, well, that changes things all of a sudden. And it's that type of analysis that of like, if you're going to have a multi-wound model, they need a second save to really be efficient, or they need a really, really good first save.
I think Craze brings up a good point, actually. He says, sounds like you guys are saying that if you aren't Marines, then be totally not Marines. And that is almost correct. Like, unless you can be Marines as well as Marine can, it's
more durable with less firepower.
Yeah, it's almost better to skew away from that, and you might save yourself some hassle, because like, how do you build your army? Do you build your army specifically to snipe Marines? Because that's what this Tyranid list is. This Tyranid list is absolute Marine hate. It's just everything is built to kill Marines, and everyone's doing that. So if you think you can,
and it's like that's what the
list that is. Everything that kills Marines, if you can make a list that all those things that kill Marines are bad at killing you, you got a list.
Well, and that's the thing, is that's why the triple Majera list is so strong with whatever you attach to it. They murder Marines. Like, they've got 0 problems. That's their happy place.
Yeah, so, I agree, Boomstick. I am hopeful that changes in the next 4 months, that we get codexes. I'm not particularly excited for the Death Guard codex. Nothing against Death Guard, but it's almost to the point where it's just more Marines. I'm very excited for Dark Elves.
I'm excited for Dark Eldar. I'm excited to see what Dark Angels get, if they actually still get a release anytime soon.
Dark Eldar is interesting to me because it will be the first codex of this edition that is the glass cannon. It's been Marines, Necrons, which are fairly durable, kind of MEQ.
Oh, no, definitely MEQ, yeah.
Dark Eldar will be completely different and function completely different, and I'm very interested to see how they designed it.
So again, we're podcasting. We should probably zoom back in on the game, because there's been a lot of changes. Sorry, guys. True. Like, you get Alex and I in a room together, we can talk forever.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Our game that we played at Charity Hammer last year was a gong show. We barely played. We just talked the whole time.
Yep.
I mean, at this point, I will admit that the commentary is going to be a little lacking.
Yeah, this is really swung against Noah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot he can do. Colin's got wounds. He's got obsec. He's got damage output. He's got shooting. He's got combat. Noah's got none of this right now. It's really skewed against him.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to talk to Colin about this afterwards. We've got an hour left until the 9 o'clock.
Swarmy charged over and possibly. No.
They know.
They know.
Yeah. So 3 at AP 3.
Okay.
D3.
3 at AP 3 D8. 5 of Imbles. Make 2.
What's that?
5 of Imbles.
Okay.
Make 2.
3 damage.
Okay.
So.
6 of Field of Pain. I still have one.
Because I somehow didn't kill the apothecary.
Somehow.
And then my tail? Wounds. But no AP. No AP D3.
No AP.
Okay. Okay. Punch me back.
All right. Apothecary.
Okay.
I got charged. No wounds.
Okay.
The squad.
Into the Flyrant.
Yeah. Two wounds.
Save 1.
Okay.
Okay. That's the end of the turn. I got my second scramble because the Lictor did it in your deployment zone.
Sure.
I got full engage.
Yep.
So end of round. Chuck, end of round scoring. Can you hear me? End of round scoring.
Okay.
So 15 primary for both of us.
For this turn?
Yeah. No, just in general.
Okay.
15 primary for both of us. End of the battle round. So you are not in the middle.
Nope.
You did not fall back,
Nope.
and you did not kill a monster.
Yeah.
So you got one more.
Yep.
He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's got 10 secondary. And I have nothing there yet. 2, 4, 7, 10, 12. I have 12 secondary.
Cool.
Top of 4.
Okay. Top 4. I still hold this, and you got that. So I hold 2. So I get 5.
Yeah. Like that matters.
Yeah. Okay. So now here's a question. So how many wounds does he have left? 9.
9.
And he has 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tall order. That's my command phase. I will get a CP back.
Which you'll use to fall back and shoot.
Yeah, probably. That's probably the thing. Should have started shifting this way much earlier. Hindsight's 2020. Okay. So we'll follow these guys back. We'll follow those guys back. We'll follow this guy back. This guy's going to stay where he's at. He is going to.
Make a move. Colin, can you kind of just go over the state of the game and point out what's going on?
Yeah, sure. I was just going to see how much money we've raised. Because I thought that would also be fun.
I'm going to put a guy back with the apothecary.
So this is top of 4, I think. Basically, the problem that Noah had is as much damage as he does is his army's just too fragile against me.
Yeah.
So I think I did
And I didn't start moving fast.
4, 8. I did like 20 mortal wounds to him in a turn and a half, which not even counting my shooting because of all the smites. Not even counting this most recent turn. Like all the smite I did here, and he got a mega smite for 4, and the Demicarans did 4 over here. All those mortal wounds into Marines was really hard.
Yeah.
Because that was in addition to my shooting, right? So
What I should have done is huddled up here and moved as a blob and not been greedy for all the objectives and getting the point. I spread out way
I think
too far.
I think you played the board too much on the beginning.
Yeah.
I was surprised that you pushed these gaunts back. I thought you were just going to leave them there. We're at $7,757.
Sweet.
So if people would like to donate, I will give away some stuff in like 15 minutes. So I bet the commentators can explain how that works.
So we're just gonna we fell back. The apothecary brought a dude back.
Dan Dodge, those are new Biff Pod specific objective markers. Those are the hammer out cancer ones.
Yes, you'll be able to order them. Colin will be able to provide the link a little bit later.
I need to buy those.
Yeah, so we're doing the charity hammer objective markers is every single charity hammer event, no matter when, will have its own unique objective marker that you'll be able to order, and they'll be kind of collectible that way. So you can have a mix if you want to later. So like once we get to Charity Hammer 6, you can have 6 different objective markers from each Charity Hammer, whatever you want to do. But we're trying to make each one cool and different so that they kind of have a little more sentimental value to anyone who wants to purchase them that year.
Yeah, those objective markers there are the ones with the giant Imperial Knight, and it's in the Imperial Knight.
Yep.
Awesome.
Vince is in the Imperial Knight because that's his one of his favorite armies.
Okay. Shasquid, something like that. Been out of the 40k scene recently. What about new Necron? I really like the rework of the get back up rule. I think it feels much more, I don't know, just kind of Necron-y. They've got all sorts of weird movement shenanigans, like them moving through their weird teleporter domes. They've just got a lot of flavor. The Necrons really feel like they're high technology and this horrible unending horde of bots.
Well, and like the destroyers feel like destroyers, the wraiths feel like wraiths. They all kind of have these different abilities and flavorful rules to them.
Yeah, the text on each of the data sheets, really, you read them and you're like, yeah, no, that's how a wraith should work. Cool.
And Xanatam, any amount helps. We really appreciate it, and I'm sorry that you're going through that as well. Like,
yeah, dude, $5 is more than zero, and that's plenty.
Yeah, any percent of something is better than 100% of nothing.
We're not trying to make sure anyone have a hard time. We just know that we are going for a good cause, and yeah, we're just doing our little sales pitch. What would I see on my NIDS wish list? Honestly, Craze, for my NIDS wish list, fix warriors, fix gene stealers. They need to either be, I think gene stealers either need to be 2 damage or 2 wounds. They are kind of Primaris sized. Warriors need to have a damage boost. I think they're as durable as they need to be right now, but they need to hit harder. And the monsters in the Tyranid book need to copy what they did in Forge World. Honestly, that's about it. Everything else works pretty well. They're fast. They've got the good psychic abilities. They still feel cool. There's just a couple units that are kind of iconic that have been left behind. I tried to donate game pelts and smoked fish, but PayPal wouldn't accept it. Good on PayPal. We don't want your smoked fish.
Yeah, if you want to do Bitcoin, that's fine though.
Yeah. Tyranids, I would like a recycle option like every other. They have a recycle, it's just not any good.
Yeah. The guard one isn't good either, guys.
Yeah, no, the Tyranid one should work just like Chaoses and Orcs.
As should the guard one.
Yes, absolutely. Where you pay just command points and you recycle a unit. I see no reason to
it should be like there should be a one fixed way this works for all armies. And you can add a little flavor like in the nuance of it, but like it should just be the same thing for everyone. $10 is amazing. Thunderwolf and Storm. Also, I'm pretty sure that's already a real Scottish surname. Yes, Falcon, the guard one is good if you cheat, but that's true of a lot of rules.
Yeah, that's true. If Perfect Ambush just rolled me a 6 every time, it'd be a really good ability. So I think we're just looking at the final turn 4. I can't imagine.
I think we can call these the death throws of Deathwatch.
Yep, Swarmlord's going to go off and be a champ. And finish off those last 2.
Xanatam, we're going through Sunday evening, 24/7. Well, not 7, 24/3.
Yeah,
2.5 really.
48 hours, 41 hours, something like
52,
that.
I believe.
Oh, damn. That's a lot of hours. And that's, although the other stream isn't completely consecutive, but it's also like 40-ish hours too, right?
Yeah, no, the other stream we take breaks on, but as your late night like Ass Crack of Dawn host, believe me, like I've got a game from 9 to midnight, then I get a 3-hour break, and then it's from 3 to 6 and 6 to 9, and then I have to commentate on the RTT. We're pulling long shifts, people. We don't have a lot of folks, but we got folks willing to do shit.
Yeah. Oh, Xanatam, if this is your first Charity Hammer, then brace yourself for the real thing, because we did what, like 72 hours times 3?
Yeah, no, Charity Hammer in the summer when everyone is vaccinated will be off the chain. It's going to be an orgiastic amount of dice.
Yeah.
Slanesh will approve.
My prediction for the Tyranid list in the RTT, the one that went heavy on hero, I think, unfortunately, that list is running into Colin's White Scars right away, and I think it's going to get knocked out there. But in my bracket, I have that Tyranid list going through the losers round all the way back up to the finals, or losing to Chuck in losers finals. So like 3rd place I have for that Tyranid list. I think it's really good. I just think that the White Scars can avoid most of the hero duel's firepower. And I think that the Sisters list has an absolute crap ton of Melta, and it's going to burn through the hero duels. But other than that, I think it's going to go the distance.
Alpha Devlin, which I'm pretty sure I know who that is, but if you want to know how much it'll cost to vacuum the play space, there's a set amount. Just keep donating. You'll eventually hit it. I promise.
Yeah, hopefully the vaccinations let us return to reality soon enough here. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to tune back into the stream because it looks like they're wrapping up.
Yep, let's do that.
Commentators, we're back. You have our volume turned up too. I have tabled him. It is turn 4. We're going to talk through the math here.
Yeah, end of 4, right? So
yeah, it's bottom of 4. So on my fifth, I would have maxed. We could do the math, but it's I got 10 for. I'll get 10 for scramblers. I'll max engage. I'll max data intercept. So I'll be 5 off perfect basically. Mm-hmm. So I'll be in. If we don't do paint score, I'll be in 85. You got 23, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30, 33, 85, 33. Tyranids into Deathwatch.
Not great.
So
I learned some things.
Some of our big takeaways. One is that he just wasn't durable enough, in particular against the Hive Guard. When I overran the Dimacharon to stop the Plasma Inceptors from killing the Hive Guard, that was actually the move of the game.
Yeah, because I would have
because he would have killed the Hive Guard, and the Hive Guard did. They were the massive MVP. The close combat was great. The smite was great. The relentless Hive Guard absolutely obliterated you.
Yeah,
that was really the game. So,
which is why
knowing that again, I would have put Gauntz over there to help screen. That was like I moved him in, and then I looked, and I'm just like, oh, I just completely messed this up, and I had to spend CP to do it.
this Exocrine made me really gun shy, so
Yeah,
that's
well,
why I
he
spread this
did
way.
work against you too.
What I should have done is, as a blob, move this way, and just so by like say turn 4, actually I'm here, or by turn 2 or 3, I'm here killing these guys. But instead, I kind of receded and went this way, and that was a mistake.
Right. A lot of what people are talking about when they're critical of this Tyranids list is that they say that the Dimacarons die and then you just lose.
That's not true.
And that's not what it does.
No,
If you think
Dimacaron's
about the
supposed to
fact that
die.
the Dimacarons are 230 points, you're basically losing a big tank, right?
Yep.
When you lose 2 big tanks in an army, you don't lose,
No.
right? So that's where we're at. Commentators or us, if you guys have questions, we'll stay on for another 15 minutes or so. I don't know that I should share the text message that Alex McDougall just sent me. I don't think that it's something we need to read on stream.
Alex!
I thought that this was super, super great because this thing, this meme army that Noah's playing.
I think it's good.
I don't mean any offense by calling
No.
it a meme army. But this meme army that Noah's playing is something that the internet is terrified of. It's talked about all the time.
Yep.
And it was fun to see an army that I can't just go at you.
Yeah.
I can't just walk out in front of you and shoot you.
No, that's
right?
a way to lose.
Yeah, right. So I had to maneuver around a lot. These guys, this is their first game.
Yeah.
This is their first game for me.
They were good.
Totally
Killed
worth the
3
CP.
guys, for sure.
I caught you out of cover, and they just rolled a little bit hot, and you rolled a little bit cold. They should have killed 1 guy. That was the math. So to kill 3 guys instead, that's not a super big. That's not a super swing, right? It's not like I killed 7 and I was supposed to kill 1. I killed 3 dudes.
For sure.
So that's not that crazy. The Dimacarons killed enough and then took enough shots.
For sure. I think this army, this is my first time ever playing this army, and this army is really fun to play, and actually incredibly, like, when I kept things in the bubble, and when they had the 5 Field and Pain, incredibly resilient. But I think it's got one of those things that it cannot spread out that much. It's not great at board control until it's killed enough stuff. So you have to spend the first couple turns as like a big blob moving across the board, and then you spread out.
Which is basically, by the way, every Marine army.
Yeah, but you know, the thought was because of the independent rerolls, I could get across the board and do a lot of stuff from different angles. That just did not pan out especially against the Dimacarons, because they spread me out. And your Dimacaron being able to go here was super painful.
To stop the plasma?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad I saw that.
I was waiting for it. I was like, I wonder.
And I heard Chuck talking to the commentators after I did it. I think that Alex saw it too and said something.
No, they did not. They were like, what is he doing?
Winning the game.
That was the move of the game.
Yeah, it was.
That 1 CP Dimacaron overrun was the game.
If you wouldn't have done that, I would have killed the Inceptors, and I think the Inceptors would have killed that unit, and I think.
Well, actually, I think I still would have won, actually, because of how much it was landslided. But it would have been really close to the end, I think, instead.
Well, it might have been slightly different because I would then have a different board control. But
Yeah.
I think it would have been much closer.
One thing I would say is that you picked, I don't know what you should have picked, but you picked some questionable secondaries.
Yeah,
I think raised banners against a Horde army is asking to lose.
sure.
I also hate raised banners.
Yeah.
So in fairness, Oath of Moment, if you aren't going to go to the middle of the table, is not good.
Yeah.
Is my feeling about Oath.
Originally, I planned on going to the middle of the table, and then how you deployed, I was like, well,
Well,
I'm not
that's
going to
because
the
I was not going to let you go to the middle of the table. So I thought that was weird. You could have taken Bring It Down, but you would have only gotten 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
What do you think about this list composition in general?
I think that it's a gimmick list.
Yeah, sure.
No offense.
No. It's not my main list. This is just Marines.
I think that it's a gimmick, and I think that it asks people, can you deal with this? And if they can, I think it would have a lot of difficulty with Marine armies that are really fast, like White Scars.
Yeah.
As well.
So my main Marine army is White Scars usually, but I'm building out so that I can play basically every Marine build at every codex.
Right.
So I was like, well, it looks like today I'm going to do the 24 Inceptor.
No, it was great to see it. It was super great to see it.
But I think you're right. I think it's like a potential gatekeeper thing that you will see at GTs.
Yes.
And it will kill the armies that aren't prepared for it.
Right.
And then it will lose to some of the like well-piloted finesse armies. And it's also something I think you'll see people who are like, oh, what's super broken? I'm just going to bring this pile of bullets and I'm going to win off of just brute force.
Right. I thought it was neat, and it did some really cool stuff. The Relic is almost worth playing that list in and of itself.
Yeah. Deathwatch is super cool. Lots of tricks.
The Relic of like, I'm just going to reroll wounds against the most important stuff in your army this turn. That's what I've decided to do. Like, that's completely crazy.
The best thing in that book, probably.
Yeah, it's completely nuts. So, does anybody have any questions? Is that chat particularly active?
They're active, but
not talking to me?
they're talking to each other.
Okay. If you guys have any questions for us or the commentators, I'd like to hear what Alex's thoughts are, but I don't think I have a way to hear that. So, there's that.
You know what they are for the most part.
Okay.
Is there anything about the Deathwatch list?
Yeah. Are there Deathwatch questions?
Any questions or comments on the Deathwatch list?
For most of it's just, you've already answered the question.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Sweet.
I'm going to give something away.
All right. I'm going to reset to play Custodes at 3 in the morning. Woohoo. Even less models than this list. 20 models in that list.
There's a trivia question this time. Can they hear me? Okay. Everybody, there's a trivia question that gets you 2 raffle tickets. All you got to do is email me at bestinfaction@gmail.com in the next 10 minutes, which is, it's 8:28. You have 10 minutes to do this. What tournament is the first episode of Best in Faction about? If you know that, or you can find it through Google in 10 minutes, you will get 2 raffle tickets. Okay. I will now roll to give somebody, let's give somebody something.
No, I'm planning on losing them on you.
Just give me one moment, everybody.
I'm not saying this is mine,
I'm going to give away a Termagant box set, because I just played with Termagants, and everybody saw how great they are. So I'm going to give away a Termagant box set. And I'm going to do that right now. And it is going to go to Bobby Midkiff. I believe that Bobby is a new player, so he might be really excited about his box of Termagants. But that's what he won. Get that trivia question in. I'm going to give away something in the next game as well. We'll give away the, what's it called? The Whizbomb Mega Bomber? Whizbomb Mega Bomber? That's literally its name, or close enough? I'm going to give away an Orc plane in the next game. What's that? Oh, okay. I'm going to give away an Orc plane in the next game in honor of Orcs. I don't think I have a Space Wolf to give away. I have to go raffle on the other stream. Yeah, I'm going to send it back to the commentators, and we're going to go dark here in about 10 minutes or so, but we'll be back at the top of the hour for our next game, which is something. Yeah. What's the next game? Oh, right. Orcs versus, we just talked about it. Orcs and Space Wolves. Okay. All right, I'm going to go to the other stream.
Okay, I'm not sure if they've kicked it back to me. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Nice. Okay.
Hello?
So let's. Ooh, who's back?
I'm back.
Oh, Mitch is back. Yeah, we're back on chat here. Okay,
Cool.
So we've got a question for Noah, but they've left the room, so we'll leave it there. Alpha Devlin, I can go over this list, this NID list with you specifically. It is Swarmlord with Catalyst, and I believe he had it with Paroxysm. And then it's a Flyrant with Monstrous Rending Claw, Dual Devours with Onslaught and Psychic Scream, and the Resonance Barb, and he is your Warlord. So he's got a bunch of smite that he can throw out. He makes sure that your guys can advance and charge with Onslaught, and he is +1 to cast from Resonance Barb. And you can cast all 3 of those because of Resonance Barb. And then it is 26, 10, and 10 of Hormagaunts, 2 Demicarons, a Lictor, and then it's a Chronos Patrol of a Neurothrope with Symbiostorm, and then Hive Guard, Exocrine, and the Devil Guns. That's all there is to it. Asking for a buddy who plays Nades, asking if there's a hardcover symbol.
Yes, if you want to go to charityhammer.com, all of the links will be there, and I think it's exclamation point lists.
That apparently that's only bringing up the RTT lists, so we'll talk to Colin about that.
Yeah, so I would go to charityhammer.com for lists.
Yeah. If not, I'll talk to Colin and make sure that the lists that are not
we do have them.
RTT,
If they aren't there, we will make sure that they're posted on charityhammer.com.
Yeah. If I were Noah, I would not change his list because I don't think you need to tech to beat this Tyranid list.
I would also say this is the first time Noah's played that list, and he's identified some mistakes. I'd get reps in. Right? That's the thing is, people, it's very, sometimes you play a list and there are obvious changes you need to make, that just did not work the way I thought it would. But at other times, it's just, I made a mistake. I misplayed that, or I think I misplayed that, so I need to try out and experience the play I think I should have made first. And then if that doesn't work, then it's like, okay, no, this doesn't work. You have to, there's more trial and error involved in fine-tuning and honing a list than just playing it once against one opponent. You really need to get a larger data set than that before you start tinkering, unless, again, it just clearly doesn't work. You're like, the CP that this set of units requires, just it won't allow for the other unit to function. That's something that's just mechanically non-functional.
Yeah, definitely. I usually like to play a list 4 or 5 times before I'm willing to make a big decision on it. Although sometimes within those 4 or 5 games, I will make little tweaks, but usually sub 50 points.
Yeah, and that's a very different thing. Before you start pulling parts and completely rewiring a list is more of what I'm talking about. You really want to make sure that you're playing it against more tanky lists with feel no pains and high mobility, high damage output like White Scars, and everything in between, and board control. Know what all of the pros and cons of the list are before you really start tinkering with it, because you might just be taking a small deficiency it has against one list and creating a much larger one against another.
Yeah. And there's the valuing the list against the meta as well that we were kind of talking about before. Let's say that your list gets smashed by a list that's not common. That's probably okay. You probably won't run into it very often. Does that same list that gets smashed by this uncommon list also go really well toe-to-toe against Marines? Probably best to keep the list as it is.
Yeah, you want to make sure that what you're really teching for are the primary threats, not the ancillary ones.
Yeah, do you go 55-45 against 80% of the lists out there and go 30-70 against a small 5%? Yeah, let's keep that 55-45 against the rest of the meta.
But again, it's all about identifying what list works for you. I'd love to look at other people's lists as inspirations and be like, what are they doing that I like, and what are they doing that I would do differently? It's not about completely copying one list unless, that list happens to be exploiting a broken mechanic, then that becomes an entirely different thing.
Yeah, or it's just one that you really like.
Sure.
Let's not shy away from there's just sometimes play styles that you love, because that's what we were talking about with Jim last year, where he was really hung up on what do I do? Marines are so good. I don't know if Chaos can do it. And he was playing Marines and he hated it. And I said, you know what? You're going to enjoy losing with Chaos more than you will winning with Marines.
Mm-hmm.
So just go play Chaos.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta. It's a hobby. You got to do what you love.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do believe I am going to pull away here so I can start getting ready for the next match, which I am playing in.
Absolutely.
So
I will see if you can let Chuck know, and we'll kill the stream. They were going to kill the stream at 8:45 anyway.
Okay.
And we're almost there.
Well, I mean, if we're going to kill it at 8:45, I can fill in another 7 minutes. No problem.
No. You got to get ready for your game.
Okay, cool.
You got to.
I will.